Ladies and gentlemen, in today's discussion, we're diving into some major updates regarding NIO, particularly focusing on the comments made by its CEO, William Li, and the company's current strategy for cutting costs and preparing for profitability. What's fascinating here is that Li is already speaking about profitability, as though it has practically been achieved. He has compared NIO's path to Tesla's, emphasizing that NIO is reaching this milestone 5 years earlier than Tesla did. While he acknowledges the challenge, his tone is filled with confidence, as if the outcome is guaranteed. This makes us wonder, what exactly gives him such certainty? That's what we'll explore in depth today. This is not financial advice. Please do your own research. William Li isn't simply making casual remarks. He's speaking with conviction about NIO becoming profitable in its 11th year. This timeline is important because it suggests that NIO is accelerating toward financial stability much faster than many analysts expected. By highlighting Tesla's longer journey to profitability, Li positions NIO as a company that has learned from the struggles of others and is determined to execute more efficiently. Now, the interesting part is that his tone isn't cautious, it's celebratory. It feels as though he has already done the math, considered the risks, and concluded that profitability is inevitable. Even while he calls it a big challenge, he speaks as though it's already in the bag. That kind of confidence, especially coming from a CEO, usually suggests that the groundwork has already been laid behind the scenes. One of the key steps NIO is taking to ensure this financial breakthrough is cost-cutting. And they're not doing it lightly, they're undertaking what can best be described as amputations. Just like in medicine, where amputation is used to remove non-functioning or infected parts to save the body, NIO is trimming away operations that don't contribute to profitability. This is most evident in their approach to retail. The company has begun closing down stores that are unprofitable, including several NIO houses. Now, some enthusiasts previously speculated that NIO would outright cancel the concept of NIO houses, but that's not what's happening. Instead, the strategy is much more logical. Keep the profitable ones and shut down those that cost more than they generate. It's essentially a cleansing process to maintain health and long-term growth. What's particularly clever here is the timing. NIO is executing these closures during Q3. Why? Because every closure comes with financial consequences. There are penalties for breaking contracts, violation fees, and expenses for dismantling renovations, furniture, and branding elements. If all of this happens in Q3, then Q4 begins with a cleaner slate, without unexpected expenses dragging down the bottom line. This shows clear foresight from management. By front-loading the pain, they're setting up Q4 to reflect a healthier, more streamlined business that can actually showcase profitability rather than being weighed down by one-off costs. It's a classic case of short-term pain for long-term gain. Here's where the discussion gets interesting. Do NIO's physical stores even matter as much as they once did? In the early years, stores were essential for brand recognition. They introduced the public to NIO's cars, its services, and its vision. But today, NIO has already established its brand. Anyone who should know about NIO likely already does. The bigger challenge now isn't brand recognition, it's product education, especially around battery swapping. Most Chinese consumers know NIO exists, but many still don't understand what battery swapping is, how it works, or how extensive NIO's network has become. This lack of awareness represents both a weakness and an enormous opportunity. Let's talk about battery swapping for a moment. Even among people who know NIO, many are completely unaware of the scale of its swap station network. Some assume it's a gimmick or that only a handful of stations exist. In reality, NIO has over 3,000 battery swap stations, many strategically placed along major highways, making long-distance travel more convenient than traditional charging. Yet countless drivers still don't know this. Some see NIO's swap stations and mistake them for car washes or storage facilities. Without education, the average consumer simply doesn't understand how revolutionary this system is. A perfect example came during a live stream by Dr. Shen Fei, the CEO of ONVO, NIO's sub-brand. At a swap station, an AITO driver was struggling with the complexity of using a charging station scanning QR codes, setting up, waiting. Shen's team introduced him to battery swapping by letting him experience it firsthand inside an ONVO L90. Within minutes, the driver was stunned by how quick and simple it was compared to charging. And here's the surprising part. That swap station was located right next to the charging station. Even then, the AITO driver had no idea what it was or how it worked. If this doesn't highlight the awareness problem, nothing does. This is where NIO's real challenge lies, not in building more stores, but in educating the public about what battery swapping can do for them. If we think about the future, it's clear that education will play a bigger role than flashy retail spaces. Imagine swap stations with sales reps stationed there daily, ready to show frustrated EV drivers that swapping is a painless alternative. In Europe, NIO has already been experimenting with this model, placing small customer centers near swap stations to explain the process and win new adopters. This approach could be incredibly effective in China too. After all, if someone's biggest pain point is the difficulty of charging, showing them a faster, more reliable alternative is the most direct way to win them over. Stores in shopping malls can't deliver that same impact. Now let's step back and ask, why should investors or enthusiasts care about all this? Because it signals massive untapped potential. Every NIO owner already knows about and uses battery swapping. But Tesla owners, AITO owners, Xpeng owners, many of them don't even know swapping exists, let alone its scale. That means NIO still has a huge market to educate and convert. This isn't just a defensive move to preserve margins, it's also a growth strategy. By closing underperforming stores and reinvesting into education, NIO positions itself to capture market share more effectively in the future. Now, some skepticism remains. Can NIO really achieve its ambitious delivery target of 150,000 cars in Q4? I don't think they will hit that figure. But here's the twist, they might not need to. Profitability doesn't hinge entirely on hitting sky-high delivery numbers. Instead, the cost-cutting measures and operational discipline being implemented could be enough to push them into the black. It's a bold strategy: streamline the business, reduce excess costs, educate consumers, and maximize the efficiency of what they already have. That's what could make NIO profitable, even if deliveries fall short of the original goal. To wrap it all up, NIO's CEO William Li is already speaking about profitability with the kind of confidence that makes it sound inevitable. The company is cutting costs aggressively by shutting down unprofitable stores, and they've timed these closures perfectly to avoid Q4 being dragged down by penalties and renovation fees. At the same time, the bigger challenge is not visibility but education. Millions of consumers still don't know about battery swapping or the vast network NIO has built. That's where the next wave of growth lies. While deliveries may not hit the lofty 150,000 target, profitability could still arrive thanks to disciplined cost-cutting and strategic planning. And with such a large pool of potential customers still unaware of the battery swap advantage, NIO's future growth prospects look promising. Whether you're an investor, an EV enthusiast, or simply curious about the industry, this is a story worth watching closely. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stock predictions and market insights. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy investing, and see you in the next video.